Imagine you're living 50,000 years ago. You wake up to the sound of heavy rain. You think it will stop by afternoon. It doesn't. The next day it rains again. Then another day. Then another. Soon every tree is soaked. The ground turns into thick mud. The rivers become violent. The animals disappear. Your fire keeps dying. You haven't eaten in days. There are no grocery stores, no food deliveries, no umbrellas, no weather forecasts telling you when it will end. Just endless rain. For ancient humans, this wasn't just bad weather. It was one of the most dangerous survival situations imaginable. So, what did they actually do when it rained for an entire week? The answer reveals just how incredibly adaptable our ancestors really were. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel, because every week we uncover the strange realities of ancient human life that quietly shaped the people we are today. Rain changed everything. Ancient humans depended on movement. Every day they walked for miles searching for food, water, and animals, but heavy rain completely disrupted that routine. Tracking prey became nearly impossible. Footprints vanished. Scents washed away. Animals moved into dense forests or climbed higher into the mountains. Many simply stopped moving altogether. Hunting suddenly became a game of luck instead of skill, and luck doesn't feed hungry families. But hunting wasn't the only problem. Plants became harder to find too. Many edible berries became waterlogged and spoiled. Roots disappeared beneath thick mud. Nuts became difficult to collect under layers of wet leaves. Even simple walking became exhausting. Every step pulled at your feet as the earth tried to swallow them. Modern hikers complain after one rainy afternoon. Ancient humans sometimes faced storms lasting for days. So, what happened when nobody could find enough food? They didn't panic. They adapted. One of the smartest things early humans learned was not to rely on a single meal. Whenever hunting was successful, they often shared food across the group. Certain foods could also last longer than fresh meat. Smoked meat, dried meat, edible nuts, and tough roots gave them valuable extra time. These small food reserves were never huge. But during endless rain, they could mean the difference between survival and starvation. Eventually, however, every reserve ran low, which meant staying alive required something even more important than food: energy. Every unnecessary movement burned precious calories. Instead of wandering through dangerous forests, many groups simply stayed inside their shelters much longer than usual. This wasn't laziness, it was mathematics. If searching for food cost more energy than the food itself provided, then staying still became the smarter decision. Sometimes survival isn't about finding more, it's about wasting less. Of course, staying inside created another challenge: fire. Today we take dry wood for granted, but after several days of rain, everything becomes soaked. Without fire, ancient humans faced freezing nights, uncooked food, dangerous predators, and complete darkness. Keeping a single flame alive became one of the group's highest priorities. Some people likely spent hours protecting glowing embers instead of allowing the fire to die completely. A tiny ember hidden beneath layers of ash could survive much longer than an open flame. When the rain finally eased, they could rebuild the fire instead of starting from nothing. Because creating fire wasn't always easy. Losing it could become a disaster. Rain also transformed the landscape itself. Small streams became raging rivers. Open fields became marshes. Loose rocks collapsed from wet hillsides. Places that were perfectly safe yesterday could become deadly overnight. Ancient humans had to constantly judge whether their shelter was still safe. A cave might offer protection from rain, but if water started pouring inside, it could quickly become a trap. Low camps near rivers could disappear beneath floodwater within hours. Every storm forced difficult decisions: stay where you are and risk flooding, or leave the shelter and face freezing rain outside. Neither option was comfortable. Both could be deadly. Children made everything even harder. Young children lose body heat much faster than adults. Keeping them warm during cold, wet nights required constant attention. Adults probably stayed close together, sharing body heat while protecting infants from cold winds. Sleeping close wasn't simply about comfort, it was survival. And then there was something people rarely think about: the mind. Imagine sitting inside a dark cave for nearly a week. Outside, the rain never stops. Food keeps disappearing. Nobody knows when the storm will end. No one has a calendar. No one knows tomorrow's weather. Every sound outside could be a predator. Every hour increases uncertainty. That kind of stress changes people. Anthropologists believe harsh environments forced humans to become better planners, better communicators, and better problem solvers. Storms weren't just physical challenges, they were mental ones. Groups that cooperated survived longer. People who shared food, protected children, and solved problems together were more likely to make it through difficult seasons. In a strange way, terrible weather may have strengthened the social bonds that eventually made humans different from every other animal, and eventually the rain always stopped. When the clouds finally cleared, ancient humans didn't simply continue life as before. The forest had changed. Fresh animal tracks appeared in soft mud. Plants began growing again. Water sources shifted. Storms often created entirely new opportunities. Some animals became easier to hunt after leaving flooded areas. Fresh plants emerged where none existed before. The people who survived weren't necessarily the strongest. They were the quickest to notice these changes, the quickest to adapt. Looking back, it's amazing how often we complain when rain ruins our weekend plans. Our ancestors faced the same weather with almost nothing. No waterproof jackets, no heaters, no flashlights, no supermarkets waiting nearby. Only intelligence, cooperation, patience, and an incredible ability to adjust to whatever nature threw at them. Maybe that's the greatest lesson they left behind. Survival has never belonged to the strongest. It has always belonged to the most adaptable. If you enjoyed discovering how ancient humans survived one of nature's toughest challenges, subscribe for more fascinating stories about the hidden realities of prehistoric life, because the next time you hear rain tapping against your window, you'll know that thousands of generations before you heard exactly the same sound and somehow found a way to survive it.